Good evening, this is New Era Gardener, NEG, and I'm just doing an update video to the seedling mix. The seedling mix this one is for the transplant mix. I'm gonna show you my seedlings. They're doing real good. This was what I made up some time ago. I did a video on this, and all I did was mix in the minerals, what I wanted, and let it sit so it could kind of blend together and come together. Only thing I didn't add into that, excuse me, only thing I did not add into this was any perlite. I didn't have any perlite at the time. I did have some vermiculite, but when I'm doing my seedling mix, I want to do that with the vermiculite. But when I'm doing the transplant mix, I like to do that with the perlite. So I picked up some perlite. I got a good deal on it, and it was a broken bag, so I saved 10%, so it's always good. Save some money on it. I got a big bag. Got a big bag. Number 2, size number 2. To me, it's still a little big, but that's all right. I'm gonna crush it a little bit. So it is a little dusty, but I'm not gonna go crazy with it because I don't want the dust all over. Not making it super fine, just making it a little bit smaller than what it is by crushing it a little. Gonna mix it up, see what it looks like, see if I need to add some more. The mix is nice, it's nice and moist, so we're good there. Kept it in a bucket with a top on, so the moisture that was in it stayed very good. It's got a good content to it. But I'm going to show you my seedlings, and I tell you, the difference in bulbs makes a big difference. You can get from Home Depot, you don't want to spend crazy money and get regular grow lights bulbs. You can go to Home Depot, pick up some, and they have the daylight, which is good for the veg, and that's what you want. So I picked up, the first time I went, I picked up the daylight 5,000 luminums, and when I was looking out there on Home Depot website, I noticed they had the Daylight Deluxe. So when I looked at the Daylight Deluxe, the Daylight Deluxe is 65,000 luminums, and that's what you really want. And that's what worked for me. I mean, I'm happy with my seedlings. I'm going to show you my seedlings. I'm not going to go through showing you me plotting it up. This weekend I'll do that. I hope everybody's being healthy with the coronavirus out there. So this weekend, that's what I'll do. I'll transplant the ones that need to be transplanted. Change up my setup a little bit. My peppers are doing good, but the ghost peppers really aren't getting that big quickly, and that could be because they like a lot of heat, and I have no heat going to them. To me, that's a good amount of perlite in there. Every handful that you take has some in it. That's what you want. It also will help hold water, make it airy, hold some of the minerals. So I may have to make up another batch, but for now this is good enough. And you know, just to kind of go from the start. So that's going to be good. That's pretty much it on the I already added all the minerals in it. Now I'm going to show you my seedlings, 2 trays of seedlings. Give me a second. These are the ghost peppers here, and these first 3, those are red pepper, green peppers, and back here are the Hungarian reds. These are the tomato plants. Look at how these tomato plants grew. I mean, most of them have two seeds in them. I mean, you may not really be able to see it, but look how fat those stems are. I had the light down because I don't want to make my peppers leggy. Some of them are starting to yellow. I don't know if that's from too much water or what, but look at these tomato plants. I mean, my tomato plants are going to start flowering once I start putting them in. I did raise the light on them a little bit, but this is just from them touching the light, just growing towards the light. This seedling mix also has the minerals in it, and also has the biochar. So I think that biochar does great for the tomato plants and did good for the peppers. But I mean, I can't lift it up. It's got water in it, but I mean, if you can see those are just beautiful. I may have started them a little too early, but I'm happy with how those came out. Tray's full of water. Now, somehow, some way, I got a tomato plant in there. I'm gonna pick that out, but this is just the one lonely early cabbage that came up. Had to do new seeds. One of them is a little leggy, but that's because I had to raise the light. So, but that particular plant is doing extremely well, the one plant. This is Swiss char. I mean, look at that Swiss char. I mean, it's getting big. And then in the middle here, that is the dinosaur cabbage. I mean, that is some nice looking cabbage. I mean, they're nice plants. I'm gonna transplant all those. Another row of the Swiss char, giant Swiss char. I mean, and just look at those leaves. I mean, the leaves are humongous on these. And then in here, there's some onions. This seems a little dry, so I'm gonna have to water it, and that's probably why they're yellowing. Seems a little dry. This particular tray I did notice ran out of water, so I'll have to top water these, but they're doing good. Onions are doing okay. These are some seeds I had from last year, and I'm gonna do more, but I mean, just look at this. This is good. I'm happy with that seedling mix that I made. This stuff and the light that it's getting, that's perfect. That's the lights that I'll use. Those bulbs worked out excellent. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give an update on making the rest of the transplant mix, what I'll transplant. I just can't get over this tomato plant that somehow I had a seed, either a seed, because you know it happens when you're making your worm compost. You're feeding them all different things. You're feeding them tomatoes, you're feeding them watermelon, you know, pumpkin, other things that have seeds. So you do get seeds that are in there, and I think that's where this came from, because this is far away from the tray that has tomatoes. I didn't realize that this was in there and that big. I'm just gonna cut it out. Not gonna yank it out. You don't want to yank it out. Just cut it out. I have another one here, small. I'm gonna cut that out and not worry about it. But that's a big plant. I'm gonna cut it out just to show you. That's a tomato plant. That is huge. That's a big tomato plant. I mean, those are tomato plants that should go out in the yard. But we're a month out before we can put anything outside, so I think I'm a little premature. So I'm gonna cut the other one out. It's a little smaller, but those are tomato plants. So, all right. Once again, this is New Era Gardener. Just doing an update video on my seedling and the transplant mix, where I'm going to be transplanting a lot of these into regular pots and get them ready. All right. Once again, New Era Gardener. Enjoy the rest of your day.